Teneni the nego I got lot of hasit ego ban suitcase. Hakunda the telly the neither I has out of ban salame case. John Naz the neither I hasit ego ban not banza case all day. Out of that chai, the neither the hot ego ship banza case. Hakunda the bahaneki I the hanne hold send an asked they got think begin hot neither. Jag hade inga besvär det han inte nas det inte sin hasin så går det inte så att då det åt det andra går han inte det är. In the traditional teachings of our people, the ne always say, that means long ago. See, the hold on there is that there was horses among us, and hat ego. Sometimes people say, how is the story told? And it is that in our ceremonies and that, there are songs and that refer to these times in the distant past. Klimpigin is sometimes thought of saying the horse song. How old is Klimpigin? Klimpigin is very old. It is here before the Spaniards arrived, and it has always been that our people understood the teaching that is there and to be understood as when it was referred to as Li. Nowadays, we can refer to our Nikili, which could refer to our herd of sheep or goats or horses or cattle. Nikili, sometimes they say now Doshi, and that then includes donkeys, mules, dogs, cats, and so on. So in the Klimpigin, the teaching is that we had horses long ago, and it was that because they say that ande ostinct is that they all of a sudden were no more. The horse had been available to very few people. It was probably something that was a luxury back in those days, and there were not many of them. And some type of disease came and destroyed them, and all of a sudden they were no more. But when the Spaniards arrived around 1520, and they brought horses, it was that the Dene already had a name for the Thi, and that's the way that the horse calls to each other when they cry out, Thi. That is the way that our people refer to that animal, is to imitate the sound that it makes when they call to one another, Thi. And the teachings of our people and the things that they used to talk about in past history was when they tried to discourage the Spaniards from going further onto the lands of the Dene. They said, if we destroy their mode of transport, they probably will give up. So let's take their horses and their other animals and that will stop them. And so it was that whenever they would raid the Spanish settlements, they would take the horses and the donkeys and the mules. And of course, over the years, they learned how to care for these types of animals. But there's another animal that is sometimes forgotten that is referred to as a beast of burden, really, and that is the dog. The dog is very important as a part of the traditional teachings of our people. They called the dog Daden. That was the one name that they gave the original dog for many generations, Daden, because he would be able to hear at great distances and give warning bark, and also that he would act a certain way when there was impending danger, and also he could see in the darkness. Sompana is what they used to say, that he has eyes that are like stars. And so the dog had a very special place in the society. But when the horses were recovered after 1520, the dog took on a different name, and they referred to it as Saint Chayan, which is in our language is exactly the way that it is said originally, Saint Chayan. Now I won't go into the details, but that is Thi being the first part. Today, when they say it, they say it Lechai, and that's what we call the dog, Lechai, and we wonder why. There is a reason, and I won't go into great detail. But I will mention that when the horses were taken and raised in that by the Dene after 1520, they also learned how to care for the horses and the donkey and how to crossbreed them. If it was a mare or a stud that produced with the donkey, what they produced was the mule. Now the Dene, for very simple reasons, preferred the mule over the horse. And it was because of so many of the trails and that the Dene traveled on were footpaths, and they were not easy paths to follow because of the canyons and various difficult passes and that to travel on foot. So when the creature in the form of the mule was able to navigate those trails, they became the dominant choice of transportation for the Dene. And so it was that the mule was the one that was used by the Dene in most cases. The horses were fine out on the flat areas, and so something to think about. That's probably why the people that lived out on Hadkahotke, which is out on the plains, preferred the horse, and they became a horse culture. And it was very easy for the Dene actually to become maybe even a mule culture or even a donkey culture. But it was that the horse was not as accepted as the mule. And so many of the travels in that our people used to do using these animals, was the preferred animal was the mule or the donkey, just to carry loads and so on. The donkey, and the naming of the donkey among our people is Teli. Now the word Teli is actually the same name that is given to the boll weevil. And Teli is the small little insect that can destroy a whole cotton field. And the boll weevil is given, the name of the boll weevil, Teli, is given to the little donkey. And so the teachings are that the horse and that was something that was always available to the Dene in past history. And then they were all of a sudden gone. And then when the Spaniards arrived, they brought with them again the horses. And so today, we are told that there are certain ways to understand taking care of the four-legged creatures. And of course the horse is included, the sheep, the goats. But very seldom nowadays do we hear about the mule or the donkey. And sometimes we allow these animals to just roam and just to kind of care for themselves. Even the dog population is not very good. The wild horse population or the uncared for horses are ridiculous. And our people need to remember the teachings of our people. Not los bata because that no in other words, recognize the responsibilities that you have towards animals, and that when they are cared for, they can provide for you the protection and the food and all of your clothing needs and shelter needs and so on. But you have to be aware of the traditional teachings of our people and what they had told us and have encouraged us to learn. Learn about your animals, take care of your animals. And some of them can almost become members of your family, just like the dogs or the cats or the chicken, the turkeys, all of these animals. Take care of them. And it is our responsibility as the Nechalingo, which is the five-fingered being or being just human. It is our responsibility. And those are the things that we are told.
Hey, thanks for watching our videos. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads. Also, head over to our website, NavajoTraditionalTeachings.com. Sign up for our email list. Okay.